What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Therapist Logan Reacts. Today we are doing another song by Hozier off his newer album. This is a song that I very much like, but I never really deep dived into the lyrics. So I'm going to pull them up on my phone and go from there. And we are going to watch the Icarian official audio video on his YouTube channel. So let me pull up the lyrics. All right. And let's jump right into it.
If the wind turns, fight a squall, allow the ground to find its brutal way to me. I feel lighter than I have in so much time. I've crossed the borderline of weightless, one deep breath out from the sky. I've reached a rarer height now that I can't confirm. All our weight is just a burden offered to us by the world.
So right off the bat, there's like a few things that are kind of jumping out at me. So he says, if the wind turns and I hit a squall, I think typically means that that's referring to like a change in weather. Squall, like a snow squall around the ground, allow the ground to find its brutal way to me. So almost like you're kind of falling. And Icarian, if you're not aware, I'm pretty sure is the play on words of like Icarus. So there's kind of that consistency going along with it. And again, the story, Icarus flying too close to the sun, wanting to be free, and that unfortunately being in their demise. He again goes on to kind of talk about feeling weightless and just like one deep breath out from the sky. So just like, again, that feeling of floatiness almost, of peace, tranquility almost, that kind of comes along with it. It's kind of just like a transcendence almost. That's kind of what's coming out of it right now. So let's continue on, seeing if there's anything else specific jumping out at us.
And though I burn, how could I fall? And I am lifted by every word you say to me. If anything could fall at all, it's the world that falls away from me. You have me floating like a feather on the sea, while you're as heavy as the world that you hold your hands beneath. Once I wondered what was holding up the ground, but I can see that all along, love, it was you all the way down.
So now it seems that he's be talking to someone in a loving sense. There seems to be love for this individual, and I think that's why I love Hozier so much, because he's so creative and so poetic with how he speaks, and gives different. He personifies different components of how he views the world into like personification, giving them like human traits or person traits, and it's just. It seems like he's reflecting now on someone. You have me floating like a feather on the sea, while you're as heavy as the world that you hold your hands beneath. So it's very much sounds like there's this falling away from this world, this worldly being, this love for this individual almost, where it's like, again, a transcendence from, but recognizing that the world is so important to keep me grounded in a sense. And that seems to be this individual that they're speaking so highly of, at least from the lyrics, at least from what I'm getting from the lyrics. Where was it? There was another thing. Once I had wondered what was holding up the ground, but I can see that all along, love, it was you all the way down. So it's like the structure, the different components that help me up, and had me have the ability to ground was you all along. There's that love, there's that connection, like a deep rooted connection, almost like a nature sense, but that nature being personified into this being or this person that he's kind of referring to. Again, it's just very poetic. It's very deep. At least, again, I could be completely wrong. I could be dead set wrong. But I always like a challenge. And I think when I work with artists that are more poetic and there's more figurative language, it really tests my ability to read kind of in between the lines, because there's already so much subjectivity in it. And metaphors kind of playing like an important role in each one of the lyrics, that it's really important to be able to dial down as a therapist and utilize metaphors as needed. Metaphors are huge in therapy, and they can really help an individual work through a lot of different components in therapy, little different dynamics in therapy. Because I've caught myself trying to explain different therapeutic techniques that I enjoy, and like I could just see my clients just like, what are you talking about? I could have might as well be speaking a different language. But it's like being able to utilize metaphors and make it something that is more personal to them, like a metaphor in some maybe their role or wherever they utilize in their life, can be so beneficial for the therapeutic. Because one, you're hitting an important component for that individual, and two, you're making it understandable, like the therapeutic technique understandable in their sense. So like you're really good at, like, you're almost teaching them. Again, it's like psychoeducation in itself, which is pretty cool. But it's something to definitely focus on as a young therapist. It's like getting really good with metaphors, understanding one, finding ones that really work for you, and ones that you'll typically see a lot. You'll see different kind of different uses for them, which is really cool in the therapeutic field. But again, just with how metaphorically driven and poetic his lyrics are, he's kind of out of my league. It would take me a while to kind of like break these down, so I could be doing wrong. So take these with a grain of salt. He's very, very in depth. But yeah, let's continue on.
Leave it now. I am skybound. If you need to, darling, lean your weight to me. We'll float away. But if we fall, I only pray, don't fall away from me. I do not have wings, love, I never will. Soaring over the world, you are Carrion. If these heights should bring on a fall, let me be your own. Icarian, Carrion. If the wind turns, if I hit a squall, allow the ground to find its brutal way to me. If I should fall on that day, I only pray, don't fall away from me.
And that's kind of how Hozier wraps it up. And I think that's a beautiful wrap up. The lyric, if I should fall on that day, I only pray, don't fall away from me. So even though there's this love and not love, there's this importance of freedom and flying and soaring, there's also that just deep love that it's like almost like fly with me, almost like it's like, let's soar together, let's be free together, with no kind of bounds on who we are as people. And I think that's, again, just such a creative way of, and play on like Icarus and that story. And I love how he depicts love in such a creative and like metaphorical way. Like, if something natural to happen, gravity, I just hope that it doesn't become like a wedge between us. I hope it doesn't create problems for us. Like, just stay with me and like we'll get through kind of whatever is to come. And I think that's just, again, beautiful sentiment when it comes to just how much feeling he can put in just a short song like this, like only barely 3 minutes. Like, I think he does a fantastic job at that. I think that's why I also love him, like his music. And like the nice part too, when it comes to music, like there's a reason it's written that way. Sometimes it doesn't need really an explanation, you know? Like I kind of broke it down, but I feel like this song didn't really need its own breakdown. I think its message came across in a beautiful way that was like, it didn't really need a breakdown because it didn't need to mean anything specific or mean anything really literal, because it was so based in like metaphorical sense and subjectivity sense, based on the idea of like love, soaring, freedom, and again, just having that sense of autonomy, but also being with others. So it's just really cool. I think a lot of his songs just have so many different themes, which is just dope. So if you haven't heard of Hozier, definitely check him out. Great in concert. I mentioned that last video, but let me know in the comments down below. Have you heard this song? Is this a song you like? What do you think about it? What jumped out at you? Like, did you get the like play on like the Icarus stuff, or did you kind of think, did it take your brain somewhere else? I'm really curious to know. So make sure you drop a like, make sure you drop a comment if you feel like it, and make sure you subscribe. That's the one thing I'll take over anything, so please. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next video. See you later.